Okay, we'll let some people get in here. Hello. All right, we're just gonna let some people get in here. I'll kind of explain the workout, kind of what we're gonna do today. We will not be having any guests on this live video, but appreciate you trying. Hi, buddy. We're gonna give it some more time here. Thanks for everyone joining us on a Monday here. So, basically the way that this is going to work, this isn't going to be kind of like any of the normal workouts we've done. This is all going to be more mobility based, with a lot of us cooped up inside, maybe sitting at a desk all day, maybe not doing the normal stuff that we would do to stay active. Really important for us to keep our hips, our lower back, our legs, everything nice and loose. The more we're sitting down, the more it's getting tight, and then when we do get to go back outside, you just open yourself up for injuries, just being uncomfortable in general, that type of thing. So this is gonna be, under a half an hour. It's gonna be kind of a flow workout, so it's gonna be focused on movement. There's gonna be a lot of stretching at the end as well. Basically the goal of this is just to get you loose, get your hips loose, legs, back, all that good stuff. This is something you can do multiple times a day. You can even kind of do a condensed version of it in the morning and at night. You can do it twice. Basically, like I said, the whole goal of this is just for us to get loose, opening up the hips, the back, making sure that all of that stuff is nice and loose. So as you're sitting at your desk throughout the day, you don't have those aches and pains. So it's not going to really be too much of a warm-up or anything, because kind of the whole thing is a warm-up essentially. So we're just going to kind of get loose, and then like I said at the end, we'll go through a really long stretch. So it'll be about 15 minutes of the flow stuff, and then we're going to get into a long stretch routine at the end, focus on the whole body there. But the flow stuff is going to mainly be focused on kind of the center of our bodies here, so the hips, back, all that good stuff. So we'll give it another minute or two here to give people a chance to jump on. This is gonna be really good if you did JoJo's workout earlier, especially with all the core stuff that was done there. It'd be really good. Just loosen up here. This will be up on YouTube as well, so like I said, you can go back through this if you want. So yeah, I guess we'll give it another minute here, and then we'll get into it. But it's finally gorgeous out in Boise here. Sunny and warm, exactly what we want. All right, just adjust this here. If you're getting into this at all and there's a stretch that feels particularly good, feel free to just go back to that stretch. You can hold it for a little bit longer and then catch up as we go. But let's just start. Let's loosen up the upper body here. So let's just go arm circles going forward. Really key thing to this whole flow workout and kind of this mobility training is be really slow and methodical when you're doing these. It's not something that you want to rush through. You want to make sure that you're not torquing any joints weird or anything like that. So make sure you really slow down and you're really conscious of how you're moving your body during this. Just really focusing on putting things in the right spot, making sure you're nice and controlled. We'll reverse it here. And keep it going. And then we're just gonna cross them. So just open up that chest, cross those arms, switch which arms on top. Hi, buddy. Reg is gonna get loose with us today too. Isn't that right, buddy? All right, and then I'll tilt this down a little bit. We're just gonna spread the feet a little wider than the hips. And we're just gonna cross those arms and just shake side to side. And then just going side to side, so get really deep. And then back in on the other side. As you can see, I'm going barefoot. I would recommend going barefoot during this, just because we're not gonna be doing a whole lot of jumping around or anything like that, but it's totally up to you. Really getting deep on the sides here. All right, so that's about all we're gonna do for the warm up. We're gonna get into it here. So to start, we're gonna start with inchworm. So you're gonna be in a downward dog. Make sure that you're stretching out those calves. You're just gonna walk the hands forward, hold for a second, and then walk back. And when you walk back up, get as high up as you can. Get those hands as close to your feet as possible. Hold, and then go back out. Hold for a second. Hi, buddy. And then back up. You can get up on your fingers there if you need to. Kind of loosening up those hamstrings, getting the shoulders working. Back out. And then just really slowly walking those hands back up. As far as you can go. Hold it, and then we're back down. Hold it for a second. And then walking back forward. Perfect. We're gonna do 4 more of these. If you can walk up, see how I'm going straight here? If you can walk up and get to that point, do it and then walk back out. I always count 1 as soon as I get back to this position. And then going back up again. And we've got 1 more here. So going out, hold, and then going back up. Perfect. Now from here, we're gonna go right leg forward. We're gonna go into a lunge. And then you're gonna open up the chest, so arms straight up in the air. In that lunge, you're gonna be facing your knee that's up. We're gonna hold it here for a second. Really open up the chest on this one. Bring that hand back down. Other foot goes back. And now we're doing the same thing on the other side here. Hold it for a second. And then that hand goes back down. Foot goes back. And now we're back on the other side. Same thing, we're opening up the chest, looking at the knee that's right on our side here. So for me right now, this is my right knee. Hand goes back down, foot goes back, and then we're back on that other side. Really open up that chest here. Should feel it in the glutes, the hamstrings. That back should be opening up a little too. And we'll back down. Now at the halfway point, you want to just go into a nice downward dog here. And we're just going to hold this. And then we'll go back to that right leg. Open it up. All right, and then the last one here on the left side. Walk those hands to the feet, hanging here, stretching out the hamstrings, standing straight up. The last thing to go up is your head. All right. Now we're gonna go spread out here. So, spread leg, outside wider than the hips, just like you would if you're going down. You're gonna bend those knees, and then we're gonna open up into that hip stretch, so the hips dropping. Hold it for a second. We're back up with the knees slightly bent, and then we're going over to the other side. Drop down into that hip stretch. Hold it for a few seconds. Back up. The knees are bent the whole time. And then you're back over onto this side to stretch that hip out. Hold it for at least a count of 3. And then slowly move back into the neutral position and then go back over to the left side. Remember, we're not going for speed here. We want to get good stretch. We want to make sure we're nice and loose. Back into the middle. And then over to the right side. And back into the middle. Remember, you're almost in a sumo squat here. And then you're going back over to the left side. Drop that hip down. Hold it for 3 at least. And then back into the middle here. And we'll finish this set out here. Going one on the right, one on the left. And bringing it back here. Make sure that that back's straight. So you're sitting into that squat, open up your chest, and then you're back onto this side. And now bring it into the middle. Sit in this sumo squat for a second. Feel it on the inside of your groin there. Hold this for a second. And then we're gonna finish getting into a plank. But this time we're gonna have our knees bent at 90, slightly off of the ground. So you can see here my knees are slightly up. Let's go back so it's a little easier to see. My knees are slightly up. And now what we're gonna do is rotate the hips over so that the side of your hamstring, the side of your leg should be on the ground, and this other knee should stay bent up in the air. So, and our fingers are still facing forward like we were. And then we're back up into the middle. So we're just gonna rotate each side. Really feeling that hip open up. Hold it there so for a little bit of a stretch before you go back to neutral. So we're back at neutral and you're going down. You should really feel that hip, that hamstring. Everything in that area should be loosening up. Back to neutral. Back down to this side, which would be my right. Hold it there. Back to neutral, and back down on the side. We've got about one more of each here. Really working on those stabilizer muscles too. That's why we want to be really controlled when we're doing this. So all those stabilizer muscles are getting loose. Now we're just going to go into a child's pose here. Just as low into it as you can get. Make sure you're really focusing on stretching out those shoulders too. Sometimes people in the child's pose kind of forget to stretch out the shoulders. Make sure you're getting those nice and loose, along with the hips, the ankles, all that good stuff. And then we're going to come forward into a cobra. Hold this for a second here. I'll get into it more once we start actually stretching, but with a lot of these type of stretch moves, you want to hold them for at least 30 seconds so that you're really getting the most out of the stretch. So we're gonna go back into a child's pose here, stretching those shoulders out. And then we're gonna go back into cobra. And one last one, child's pose. All right. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna get back into that sumo squat position. And we're gonna go over into a lunge and then back into that sumo squat. Down the lunge, back into neutral there. And back to neutral. When you get into that lunge, make sure that your knee never goes over your toes. So you're in that lunge, everything should be straight up and down. And one more on both sides. Perfect. Now we're gonna sit crisscross on the floor here. And so we're gonna do a slow upper body rotation or sitting crisscross. So start off to the side, stretching out that oblique, the sides there. Slowly bring them forward. Hold there for a second. And then over to the other side. Hold that for a second. And then we're gonna go back and open up the chest. And then over to this side. So just kind of a 4-point rotation around your legs there. Open up the hips a little more. Hold each one for at least 3 seconds before you move into the next one. And when you do, try to be conscious of using your core to stabilize yourself instead of using your arms to maybe push yourself around. Let your core hold you up. So instead of, when I go forward, instead of like pushing up with that hand, I want to use my core to pull myself up and then go forward. Here, same thing, I want to use my body. So instead of pushing with my hands up, use that core to pull myself up and over to the side. When we go back, instead of pushing up with that hand, pulling up with the core, hands behind, open up that chest, and over to the side here. We got one more rotation all the way around, so the next time we end up in front, we're going to move into the next pose or move. Make sure to be breathing big, deep inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And finishing up in front here. Shifting into a butterfly stretch. So feet are together, pulled in close to our body. Now what we want to do is take one and press that leg down. Even if that other leg comes up, we want to be fully on our right side here. And then you can let that left knee drop as much as it can. But you want to have that right knee down on the ground. And then once we're there, we're just leaning into it more. So leaning more towards the right. And then we're just gonna slowly roll over to the other side. Same thing, we're pushing that leg down slightly, not forcing anything, and then just letting that other hip drop. Holding it there for a few seconds, and then leaning more into that side, to that left side there. And then leaning forward, just straight down the middle, before we come back to that right side. Holding it there, and then leaning into it. Rolling back, and then rolling onto that left side. And then just leaning forward. All right, now from here, we're just gonna go up onto our feet. You can go on your toes. If you can go on your heels, that's even better. We just want to sit down in here, let those hips stretch. If you need to grab onto something to go flat-footed, that's okay. We just want to keep our feet nice and flat here, pointed slightly out. And we're just sitting here to really stretch out those hips. Now we're gonna go basically butt up in the air, touching the ground. Hold that for a second. And then we're going back down into that squat. Hold it there. And that butt goes straight up. And then back down. And one more time up. And back down. So from here, we're going to take the left knee, rotate it in so it's on the ground, kick that left leg out in front of us, and get into that hip stretch one more time. Back a little bit. We're back into this hip stretch. Now we're going to bring that left leg up again. So we're back into that flat-footed squat. And then we're just going to drop the right leg back. So we can stretch out that hip some more. Back in the child's pose. Remember, big deep breaths in and out, in through your nose, out through your mouth. It gives your body a chance to settle into that stretch a little bit more. Coming one last time to Cobra. All right, so that is the flow workout. I'm gonna go through a really long stretch now here. Just staying seated on the mat, making sure the camera doesn't fall over on me. So we're just gonna stay seated on the mat here. Gonna go through a good cool down stretch here. It's all gonna be seated. But yeah, good. That flow workout, you could do that at pretty much any point. As you could tell, it's not too much on your body. So even on a workout day, you can take some of those lunges and squats and adjust as needed. So, to start here with this stretch, we're gonna go feet together. Take your left leg, cross it over your right knee. Left hand goes behind you, right elbow on that left knee, and then use that right arm to twist your body to stretch out that back. And with all of these, we want to make sure we're holding all the stretches for at least 30 seconds. And then we'll go both legs back down together. Take the right leg over that left knee, left elbow on the right knee, and then we're using that to twist ourselves around. You should be holding these for the same amount of time you're washing your hands. All right, now we're gonna go up on our knees here. So we'll go right leg, right foot out. Now grab that left foot and just pull it up to you. If it puts too much pressure on your knee, feel free to slide a pillow under that. For me, my left knee that's on the ground, just find a little extra padding there if you need it. We're just pulling that hamstring up. We're pulling that foot up past our hamstring, getting that quad nice and stretched out. Keeping the back nice and straight here. And then we'll switch sides. So now my left foot is down. This is my knee I had surgery on, so it's a little tighter than my other side. But that's why we're doing it. So getting that hamstring nice and loose here. We're gonna go back down onto our butts. We're gonna go with our right leg sticking straight out. Take our right arm, grab the toes, hold that for a second or two. Now take that left arm, bring it over, and reach over for that right toe with that left arm. Should stretch out some of that oblique, some of the back there. And we'll switch sides, so we'll go left here. So grabbing it with that left hand, right arm reaches over. All right. Now we're gonna lay on our backs. So we're laying straight down, kind of starfish out. Take the right leg straight up, lift it over, and keep that the right leg over the left side, and keep that right shoulder blade down. Some of that pec stretched out, some of the shoulder, that lower back still. And switching sides here, so that left leg's going over to the right side, but we're keeping that left shoulder down still. From here, we'll go with our left leg on our right ankle into that figure 4 stretch. Really focusing on the parts that you're stretching, feeling everything stretch out. And then we'll switch, so we'll go right leg, right ankle on the left knee. Pull that left knee towards us. All right. Now we're gonna stretch out those calves, so we're gonna get into a downward dog. We'll start with the right foot, so keep that right, take the left foot off the ground, and try to get that right heel as far back as you can. If you want to get more of a stretch, you can walk your hands up a little bit. And we'll switch sides here. All right, now we'll come back into child's pose. And we're gonna finish on our backs here with happy baby. So grabbing the inside of the feet, trying to keep your back as flat down to the floor as possible. And just holding those feet up. And come back to sitting. Close your eyes for a second. Take a big deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Acknowledge that your body feels a little looser now than it did before. Thanks for joining me on a Monday afternoon here for some mobility work. Video will be up on YouTube soon. Give us some feedback too on these classes. You know, we'd love to hear how everyone's doing, all that good stuff. So until next time, we will see you soon.